Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the OK Run Show. This time we are going to be indoor recapping, talking
Let's
about
go. Outdoor season.
everything that happened over the last few months as we get ready for next week to kick off the outdoor season. Sean, I believe, has the list pulled up of the top
Yes.
results. So we're gonna kind of go through, walk through them, talk about how they may affect the upcoming outdoor season. Starting off with the girls, Sean, take it away.
60 meter. I mean, nothing too crazy. Um, 7.6 out of Sanaya Craven, Oklahoma Cheetahs. I should really probably know this, but do you know what school she runs for?
She's at a Glenpool, I believe.
Liverpool. Okay. So that's a 5A, I think.
Hmm.
Then and then so that's not too bad. But what about this for you, Colin? Anything?
Yeah, nothing too e- exciting about it, which kind of
Yeah.
sucks because like the 60 is always so hard to tell going into
Yeah.
the 100. Um, but those are a lot of your people that are going to be all staters in their divisions or state champions potentially. But we're still missing quite a lot because sprinters oftentimes will play a sport in the winter.
Hmm.
And so we won't really get to see them
Yeah.
in the indoor season.
Now the 200, 24-2, she also ran the 400
I
and
believe those
54, 55, I think.
54, nope,
Or
54.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Which she was our second returner coming into this year.
mhm.
Um, so we'll see how she pulls. I know the gap is a little bit bigger to first than we might think, but at least off of time from last year. So we'll see how she's able to make that up.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the year for Vicky Porter. She transferred from Nathan Hale, I believe,
To
to Broken
BA.
Arrow. I think that's better. It's a better track program. No hate to Nathan Hale or anything, but BA is just, it's one of the best track teams that you have. She goes there, has some faster training partners, and it's paying off because
Yeah.
24-2 is an indoor state record.
Yep.
Her 400, certainly indoor
Is it
state
North State
record.
record?
And I think there's a chance she can get the outdoor state record over 400,
100%.
200. Going to be a little tougher. I believe Mustang still does return their number one.
That's who I was talking about, and
Yeah,
I feel,
yeah.
I feel
She's
really bad that I can't remember
Atkinson.
how I can't remember Atkinson. Yeah.
Yeah, she's back. Like she should be.
Yeah.
She should be back, and she was a junior last year. So the two's going to be tough. Plus, you have some other people that we didn't necessarily get to
Exactly.
race, and it's really hard. It is really hard to tell in especially the one and the two. The four is a little more of a who's who.
Yep.
Four, we got to see everybody a little bit for the most part. I mean, still missing a couple girls,
Just a
but
few. Yeah, but I think for the most part, we
a lot of
buddy.
your heavy hitters are here. Uh, Sean, you wanna give us some rundown,
Victoria
Sean?
Porter once again, 54.71. That's the indoor all-time best. I think that she's close to the outdoor. Well, that time, even if she broke it, wouldn't count for outdoor. But she has a good chance to break the outdoor. And then there's just a handful that are right behind her that could also be, 55 potentially. I think we could see a year where there's three fifth at 55 or under this year.
Hmm.
I think that's very possible. I think, especially because you see these top three right here, they're all gonna compete in the same race at state at least, right? And probably during the season too. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
But
Doolin's your defending state champ. She got it done on the day.
yeah,
Deja Gaines had the state lead most of the year last year. And now we have Vicky Porter, who really popped off for the first time for us at the state meet in the 5A race. I think it's going to be interesting. You also have Alyssa Little now at Tulsa Union. She was at
yeah,
Broken Arrow. Allie Huxtable is a 4A at a Lincoln Christian. I believe she's this year's like Swiss Army knife because she ran cross country for them. Like I think she was
yeah.
their number 5 in cross country. She was on the 60-meter leaderboard. She's got the craziest range. She's kind of like Cooper Wakely last year, where it was just like put him in an event, he's gonna score. I
Uh-huh.
think she's that way for
There you
Lincoln
go. There's
Christian.
800 too.
Yep. Doolin, no shock here. She comes from more the strength side up for the 400. She comes from the eight. That's why like she was not a heavy favorite to win the 400 title, but
Uh-huh.
her strength down the stretch is what allowed her to pass the girls that were tying up like Deja Gaines, and come away state champion. And potentially, I mean, there's the potential for that this year as well. But I mean, still a 2 second gap through indoor. That's a now I will note those three 400-meter performances were all at the same meet, but they were not in the
Yeah,
same heat. Deja
that's
and
interesting.
Deja and Victoria Porter were in the same heat. Doolin was in a heat by herself. So because her time wasn't necessarily fast, like she didn't
Uh,
have a crazy good seed time to work off of because she didn't have as fast of a PB as those two girls. But you know, we'll see. Crazy. It makes it a little more interesting. She
it
is the
does. It
defending state
does.
champion. She has the strength, but there's the talent of Victoria Porter. So we'll see.
800, 217. I mean, this is tough because we didn't really see a
No.
handful of athletes that are going to be in this event. So not really a whole lot that we can talk about, to be honest with you with this.
Yeah, I think this is just yeah.
I mean, we might as well move
I
forward.
don't yeah, it's not the craziest.
We got one
Move
in the
past the 16.
1600. Emma Robinson had a good indoor season. She ran a lot of indoor meets this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
5A
507.
state runner up in cross.
Yeah, uh,
507 is a good sign.
that
I
is a good sign.
I think that she's making a strong case to potentially upset Myers,
Huh?
Gwen. I think she's making a strong case right now to already be running 507. Like I, she also had some really good times over 3K
Hmm.
and she's very strong, but I mean Gwen Myers, I mean that is your defending state champion
Yeah.
in cross. She was in 6A last year, so not like she's the 5A defending champ on the track and anything, but Emma Robinson's starting to make a strong case here,
Hmm.
but we're still many months from the state championship, so still to be determined.
60-meter hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
Lalia, I can never say this. Yuko,
Ukuwuba.
yeah,
Yep.
9.12.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's one of those top people
Top
coming
returners. Her older
in.
sister,
Just
her
graduated.
older just graduated, but was the state runner-up. Um, Good hurdle family.
Yep.
Genetics are there. Her sister was great. I think honestly, I could see her walking away as the 6A 110 or not 110. They do the 100 hurdle state champion. 60 hurdles is kind of interesting. You have Amaya Harrison who's
Yeah.
going to potentially be your 400 state champion. So I think it's I don't know. I don't know if I have really much to say on this. London Poindexter is a girl that generally ends up will probably be an all-stater,
Hmm.
but it's still a ways out.
Moving on.
Um,
We didn't really have any four by like any of the four by
no, none of your heavy hitters ran.
high jump. Not a lot of that's weird. Not a lot of
Not a
high
lot of
jump
high jumps.
indoor.
Yeah,
London Dexter though is your top leader there. Long jump. This is no surprise
yeah, no surprise on the leader.
on the leader.
Sanaya Craven's at
Yeah,
18.6.
that's solid. That's solid for sure.
Yeah, we'll see when Cassidy gets up there. I mean, she jumped 20 feet last year,
Uh,
so we'll see kind of where she's tracking. That was January, so who
yeah.
knows?
Pole vault. Josie Fowler out of BA. That's not a surprise because they always have a
They're
handful
always good.
of good pole vaulters.
Memorial
Haley
with
Hunt.
I
I'm
don't know
trying
where
to.
she's out of.
I don't know where she's at. I mean, let's give it a look.
It's gonna pop up unattached. She's gonna be your unattached results.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
No clue.
we'll find out later.
Potentially her first year pole vaulting because she didn't pole
Could
vault
be,
last
yeah.
year there. Who
Shot
knows?
put, no surprise by
Yep.
any of those
Why?
top three results,
Yep.
honestly. That's about what we'd expect. We don't do triple jump, so we're gonna move
Nope.
forward to
The
the
boys.
girls 3000
Ah,
and
3,000.
under.
Pop up the three.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There she blows. All right. Natalie Duggan, 1014. No surprise there. I mean,
No.
that's about 11 flattish, more or
I
less.
think if
You know, you she's obviously gonna run a lot faster than that.
mhm.
But not a bad time at all.
Yeah, that's a 10:45-ish.
Really?
10:45, 10:50, 10:50s. Yeah. Add 40 seconds to that. So 10:55,
Oh yeah.
sub
Okay.
11 minutes probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I think, I mean, Bella Nelson didn't run the 3,200 last year. Maybe she decides to run it this year, but let's say she does the same event she did last year at state meet. I think Duggan's going to be your state champ. I don't see who could beat her. I just
Yeah.
don't see her beating like getting beat. Sienna had a good
Maybe
season.
Ava Cornelius
Yeah,
potentially.
maybe
But it would be a
potentially,
lot.
but
It would be a lot for
it would
her to do
be
that.
a kind of a stretch. And I mean, we haven't seen how the Owasso girls look. Maybe Ava had a really good winter
Mhm.
and is trending really well, but I don't know. But none of the other names on this list really surprised me. It's a lot of your top girls in mostly 6A, Bailey Woodridge in 4A there.
Mhm.
But I'm not shocked by this, but it's very like telling of the season we're gonna have with a lot of really fast times being run. Starting with the boys 3K performance,
I'm
Sean, go
Matthias.
for it.
Um, 8:38. I did some research. That's the second fastest ever in our, yeah, for our
Mm-hmm.
state in indoor. Definitely the fastest for a freshman, but
Mm-hmm.
the second fastest ever. I mean, he ran the 3000 a few. He ran a lot of indoor meets, and
Mm-hmm.
every single time it was consistent. If I pull up his page real quick on the obviously the 800,
He's
I didn't
not a
see the
speed guy.
800. Not a speed
That's
guy,
his
but
weakness for
it's
sure.
good that he got in it. I mean, you do need some
It
speed, so
was
see how
also
that
his second
develops.
race of the day.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, it's just
not
it is what it
not
is.
exactly telling of probably what he could
Um,
run.
426.44. He got six, but he beat all of the other
Mm-hmm.
Oklahomans, and that he also, I believe, beat everybody at Pitt State from
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma. The 3000 was the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's been
Very consistent. And
getting
at
after it.
8:38,
838's good. Very legit.
my rough rule of thumb conversion would be about 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Add 35 seconds onto his time. You're looking at 9:13, 9:12
Yeah.
range. Like that's pretty good early. Zach Williams in second there. I believe he ran
Megadollar's
faster at
in second.
Arkansas. They don't have it listed.
I think he might have, yeah. He ran like 840 something.
Yeah, like maybe low 840s. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
But again, I mean, that's kind of more what you'd expect out of him, being that he did run like 9:20 last year. So, not shocking there. Mez 8:55
Yep.
back in January. Mez is always super consistent. I have a feeling he will run probably 9:10 to 9:15 this
Yeah,
year. Would
I
not
agree.
be shocked one bit. And I mean, he tends to have Matthias's number head to head. We'll see
Yeah,
on the track, but at least on the cross
could be
course, head to
different.
head, he was kind of the guy. And I don't imagine Thayer runs the 32 just
He
because he'll
might.
run the
He
eight, he'll
might.
run the
But
eight,
run the
he'll
four
run
by
the
eight.
mile, he'll run the 4x8 if they field one, which I imagine they will. And, like it's a
That's
lot. And
tough.
especially in
Yeah.
6A, it's not as heavy that people will run 4 events all the time. He didn't run them last year, so But I mean, if Mustang boys have a potential of scoring really high and placing really high as a team, you have a guy that could win the 3,200 clearly, assuming all health is there. But yeah, I mean, it's Mez for state champ, Dominic Mathias for state champ. It's an interesting race.
No doubt. All right, moving on to just all the results for the boys. Do you want to talk about this one right here?
Yeah, Kyle
5,500 dash.
55's a little bit irrelevant. I mean, he went up to
Yeah, but
Melrose.
it was at a yeah, it was at
It was at
a big
Melrose, which is
meet.
cool,
Uh-huh.
629. But I think he's now
The favorite
we
for that 100, he has to be.
for sure, and he's
Yeah,
5A, but I think all classes considered, he is the number one guy. I think he's
yeah,
your number one sprinter right now across 100 and 200. I don't think that there's another guy in the state that let's if we take their 100-meter performance, we take their 200-meter performance, and we add the cumulative time up, he's gonna beat everybody.
yep.
He's that good, and I think he keeps proving it. He came out very early in the season, ran a 60, it broke the state record indoor, which
Hmm.
he already held going into the season that we forgot about, I guess. But he improved it and improved it by a good margin. At one point, I believe he was like number 3 in the nation. Didn't he have a national lead? Maybe even
I think he was second in the nation.
second in the nation
Was
at
as
one
high as
point.
he got. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a very good athlete. He's out of Booker T.
Yep.
I'm assuming still out of Booker T. But he's gonna be your number one guy, and there's nobody close. I
Yeah.
don't think we got to see Caleb Barnett, who's your 100-meter defending champ.
Uh-huh.
But 701, like Bixby guy ran faster. Idabel had a guy run faster. Caleb Barnett now at Jinx. We'll see that transition. Um, we'll see how well it bodes for him, and maybe he by the end of track season it pays off, and he's back to where he was.
Yeah.
Again,
We will
Kyler Brown, Gage Spencer out of Bristow. Gage Spencer's one of the better
about what we'd expect here.
smaller
Yeah.
school sprinters for sure. Um, Jarek, not shocked to see him up towards the
Yep.
top. Carrasco, not shocked to see him up towards the top. Yeah.
Yeah. About what we expect there.
Mhm.
400, Brody Pitt, Caden Wolf.
I think BA is making a statement now
Yeah.
that after last year, Union dominated them all the time, consistently in the 4x4.
Yeah.
Dominated them. And there's the rivalry there between those 4x4s. BA
Yep.
did not have a good state meet final. They faded. They faded to like fifth or sixth. Disappointing performance for them because, their bad year. Like if they had a bad year last year, they should have been two.
Yep.
So I think this is kind of their hey, we still got firepower. Like we're gonna kind of flex our muscle a little bit here. But Brody Pitt, Caden Wolf, two guys under 50, and they had two guys at 51, three or four
Uh,
guys actually at 51. There's so many of them down there. Four guys at 51 that I can at
long
least see on
list.
the screen currently. They have options. And what else may they have that is a kid that doesn't run track during indoor? What do they have
Exactly.
another guy that maybe plays basketball right now, that maybe wrestles right now? Who knows?
Yep. 800, Harry Ormiston. He ran 154.95, and then he also ran 155 pretty recently.
Yep.
So he's having a heck of an indoor season. He's
I think
probably your favorite coming in,
yeah, I think he was your
but
returning favorite.
the 800 kind of like it was last year. I don't feel like we've had a clear favorite in the 800 in a while.
No,
Because I can't say with confidence that he's your like guaranteed favorite,
you
you know?
still have Noah Thayer out there.
Um, so there's a handful of guys that could get in the mix, but he is probably the favorite right now.
I think he's the favorite. I think I like his 400-meter speed over Thayer, but Thayer's got that strength. I think it's
Yeah,
going to be a really good battle. I don't think there's anybody else that could win this year as of now. As of now, I don't see anybody else in the state beating those two guys.
yeah.
I think it's going to be a dogfight between those two guys. It's going to equal a state record.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be another state record this year. I think, you know, the first brick in the wall fell last year with the state
Hmm.
record. And I think you have two guys, one of which who was like third place in that race with
Yeah,
Thayer at 153. You have Harry O, which we're already seeing Harry O at 154 right now. I think we're going to
possible.
see, and the indoor 800 is a messy race.
Yeah, it's
It's a
hard.
messy, especially on like the 200-meter tracks. It's bumper cars. It's not pretty. So you don't end up running as fast as you do outdoors for sure
Yep,
because of that. Versus like a 16, there's enough time to maneuver. There's just not enough time to maneuver in the 8.
exactly. 1 mile, 420 exactly. Oh, yeah, he did earn that. 420, and that's a personal best for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good sign. I think it's very possible he runs 416, maybe 415. Um, he's gonna have to get in a good outdoor race though. I don't know if there's many in 4A that can push him in the
I
mile.
I believe he'll end up in some metro area meets
He's
this year.
got to, yeah.
I mean, he did during cross. I think he's gonna end up there. I
Mm.
also know that he'll probably go to Texas Distance Festival, one of those
Yeah,
Texas Relays type meet. I imagine his, I'll say his ceiling this year is like 412 and 910.
I think so too.
I think that, maybe 908,
Very
but I think
possible,
it's
you know.
he's got to travel for those.
Yeah,
He's got to travel for those. 16 is a little easier to get here in the state to get down into some fast times. And 4A is fairly strong. It's just
it
the
is.
other guys that are
It is.
strong are mostly all younger,
Uh-huh.
so it's going to be hard to run super quick. Masson 421. I
That's a good
think
sign. Yeah,
I think there's a good chance he's state runner up in the mile. I just don't see anybody beating Thayer.
it's gonna be tough.
I don't see anybody beating Thayer there, but I could very easily see him being second.
3,200. Ethan Jones, not. Oh, yeah, we
924.
missed this.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Mizzou meet.
Ethan Jones, 924 point. That's a very good sign for him.
Yeah, I think
I
he'll
mean,
run. I think he'll run in the nine teens probably this year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, actually, while we're here, I'll just. Oh, wait, no, we already did the
we already
3,000.
talked it. Yeah, we already talked through it.
My bad. All right, 60-meter hurdles. Trevion White, 8.28.
I think we got another year of like who's gonna be the top guy. I
This is
think
always
this
a tough
is
event for Colin and me because, like, this happened last year too. We were sort of just like with
well, we
the.
had a more logical like
We had
champion. We had the defending champion coming
Dean.
back.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't even Dean McCune. Dean McCune's the one that came out of nowhere. We had the guy out of Mustang, Aiden Edwards. He was the
Oh, you're
defending
right.
champ, and he was
You're
like
right.
the
Yep.
guy. And then
Yep.
four other guys go, "Hey, we're just as good," and
Yep.
it becomes like a who the heck is gonna win at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And by the end of the season, Dean McCune kind of cemented himself as,
The
"Hey, I
best.
am
Yeah.
the best guy." But at this point last year, we were kind of thinking Aiden Edwards, where I'm scared to. I don't know if I just gave him some bad luck. I don't want to say like, oh, Travion White's the guy this year, and then four
Yeah.
other guys
We don't really
decide, hey,
know.
we're
We'll
also
figure
as
it
good.
out.
So I don't want to jinx Travion White. Like, I hope Travion White is your state champion, but I'm also like, I don't know.
Yeah. No word. Um. I mean, the four
That's the
by
only big
eight,
one. Yeah.
51, and then Memorial. That's pretty huge.
I think
Um.
they'll break the state record.
I think that they will too. I think that there's a couple of schools this year that could potentially help push them there.
I think especially if some other schools that have good teams
Yeah,
front load to really help get the pace going.
exactly.
And because I think Harry O on the anchor can run away with it by himself.
Yeah,
I think like he's a senior, he's been there, he's done that. I think you can just kind of hand him the baton at the end and let him go. But especially if they have maybe a younger guy on the team, having him lead off with some competition might help kind of propel that kid to being
no
maybe not a
doubt.
159 guy, maybe a 156 guy on the day.
Yep.
So like I think there's some kind of some gaming the tactics a little bit that could equal those few seconds they'll need.
Exactly. High jump.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
High jump, nothing too crazy to say. I mean, Malachi Straker,
It's a good
I don't
start.
remember him last year.
I don't know.
Graham Murphy was the guy that, as a freshman, jumped 6'10". I believe he equaled it last year.
Yeah,
So good sign, Malachi, that you're already jumping higher than him. But I think high jump isn't always telling of like what's your best jump. It should be like a what is your top three really tells me how good of a high jumper you are.
exactly.
Like what do you do on average versus what is the highest bar you've ever cleared. I,
Yep.
so I don't know. I don't really know how this will go. We're still missing a lot of the top guys out of this. I believe the defending champs out of Lawton. I believe he's back. I believe he's just a junior. Plus, you have like
Yeah,
Daniel Yebbett
Lester's
out of
not.
UConn.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
just
There's
a
a
lot of
lot, man.
firepower that's missing out of this. So it's not the
Long
most
jump,
telling.
Atticus Thompson, 23-3.
Yeah, he's one of your better high jumpers or
Yep.
better long jumpers in the state, regardless of class. But he'll be your 4A champ. It's just we still got to see who's going to be the champ in
Yep.
other classes.
Pole vault, 15 feet.
Like to see it. Like to see it.
Kiefer Landis, I believe is how you say that last name, but could be off there.
Mm-hmm.
Broken Arrow, it's great. This is interesting. Caden Harney, he's
Oh,
marked on two
awesome.
teams. We're gonna have to look into that. We'll figure it out. But because he's also at BA here.
No, that is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see
Yeah,
what
I'll
who
figure
he
it out.
lines up for in the maybe he was at Owasso last semester because that meet was in December. I wonder if it was like a at semester
Oh,
transfer.
you're probably right.
BA is farming the other good pole vaulters.
Yeah,
Before long, we're gonna see
it's
oh what's
starting
it
to turn to the
Turner
dang.
out of BA
Mm.
out of Bartlesville is gonna be in a BA uniform. We're gonna be like, what happens?
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Anyways, shot put 55, 1.5, Colin Heatherman. Um,
Bixby.
Bixby, nothing really crazy
Yeah,
here.
no, I think he'll probably be up in the 60 feet range at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That wouldn't shock me with him. We don't do triple jumps. So that's it. That's it for us. We
Wow.
got we got outdoor coming up.
Yes,
Sean, Sean, yeah,
next
tell the
week,
people.
we're actually gonna get to talk about an outdoor meet.
Yeah,
And we'll probably have a podcast every week now, pretty close to it at least.
try to.
Just
We'll
'cause
see.
it's at least pretty close to that because we're sort of picking up
Yeah.
on that outdoor season. We'll definitely have one when it gets to like late March. Will be a pretty. That's
Yeah,
when we have
well.
a lot of substance. Because even this week, I mean, there's one meet, so we might hop on here and talk, might not. There'll be an article out, and there'll be a lot more Instagram content just because we
Hmm.
have stuff to post about. Because the indoor season too, like with us not having indoor in Oklahoma, we did our best, but we really can't promote much because what's there to promote if there's no meets in Oklahoma, you know? You can promote the athletes, that's what we want to do, but a lot easier for us to engage in indoor when we have meets here. So hopefully next year we'll get the meets back in Oklahoma.
Hopefully. Hopefully in a couple years there will be an OSU indoor track. Allegedly that's gonna happen. But we'll see with all the government funding kind of going random spots.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much of that they were gonna rely
I mean,
upon.
man, I think there's a chance that that we get an indoor track at a like a Tulsa Union potentially at some point, Owasso potentially, just
Somebody with some
because
money.
they've built Owasso just built that new track. I
Hmm.
know there's been like, and I could just see a universe at some point where we do
I
have an
think
indoor track
Tulsa,
in high school.
the Tulsa area schools should like do what like Moore does with their football
Yeah.
stadium, where it's like, hey, it's all the schools or whatever. I think you make a super pact of,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna come together for an indoor. We're
Or
gonna
just get all
have,
the dang private schools we have in Tulsa and in like the
yeah,
Midtown area and just tell them to have all their freaking parents pay for it.
Jesus,
I'm
yeah.
I'm kidding, kind of, but Not really actually.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
would work.
I would love to see an indoor track in Tulsa, in the Tulsa area, and I would like to see indoor potentially becoming a more legit season with the championships.
It would
Um,
certainly help
Even if
the
we
state.
segment it like into groups of two, we have 5 and 6A are one division, three and
Yeah.
four are one division, and A and two are one division, like something like that. Or maybe you have 5 and 6 are their own divisions, 3 and 4 are a combined division, and then A and two are a combined division.
Yeah.
Just because those schools are just less likely to go and send teams. But yeah, I think that's pretty well it. We're gonna see you guys more frequently, so you'll get more Sean advice every week. Sean's weekly advice. Sean's weekly leave the people with something
Oh,
other than
shoot.
running.
I forgot.
Do you
Um,
do you want to switch it up? Do you want me to ask you a different question?
yeah, let's switch it up for
All right, let's switch
what.
it up. Sean, what's you're a big music guy.
Uh-huh.
Give us give like a song or two you think the people should hear that you don't think a lot of people have heard. Like not something that you're gonna hear on the radio.
Okay. Okay.
Something like a little more under the radar.
I got you.
Put the people on to some good tunes. Give us a song or two.
Um, Put me under pressure. What's
You
that
can
song called?
pull up your playlist, look through it a little bit.
I got something in mind. Okay. All right, listen. T-Pain, right? He's a rapper. Listen to his live recording of Tennessee Whiskey. Okay,
That's actually really good. That's a good
it's
poll.
insane. It is oh gosh. Yeah, that's a heck of a pull. Um, Call to Arms by Sturgill Simpson is my second pull.
All right. There you go.
What a duo.
There you go,
What
folks.
a duo.
There's the Sean advice kind of advice of the week.
Yep.
Yeah. So we will see you guys sometime coming up
Yeah.
to be determined. Anyway, thank you guys.